Hey guys, Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this is Mail Monday. So, I missed the last 2 weeks. At the end of this video, I'll explain what happened there and share my thoughts on that. But until then, let's get started on your questions. So, here we go. Woody, I'm one of the longtime viewers you mentioned that's followed you throughout high school and taken your advice, thankfully. When I ask people what advice they have to offer or what I should do, they give me subjective views and opinions. Therefore, I'd really appreciate some of your insight on a problem of mine. So I'm a freshman in college, but not just any college. I decided to attend a military academy in the United States. The problem is, I've slowly become unhappy with day-to-day life. I've become miserable, and I feel as if my dream to be a military officer is completely vanished. I live over 20 hours away from home, which makes it impossible to go home without dropping tons of money on plane tickets. I left my long-term girlfriend that I want to spend my life with, and she feels the same. The academy offers me no competition to her, and I have come to realize that I don't want a family while in the military due to deployment. Although the academy gives me great opportunities if I get out of the military, and it's a financially secure decision, the academy is completely free and I would have to go to debt going to university. I want to go to a university back home with my friends and girlfriend. I'm also a strong Christian, and my girlfriend is as well, but the military often strays people from religion and makes men into alcoholics. Everybody I ask is either here or at home and gives me a biased opinion. Any wisdom you could spare would be highly appreciated. Thanks, and keep up the good work. For you guys that don't know, going to a U.S. military academy is a pretty big deal. I think you need to be recommended by a senator or your member of Congress, and it's selective. They look for people who are, I want to say winner, right? Because that embodies more than just like someone who's good at school, right? It's like they look for people who have leadership. They look for people who are athletic. They look for people who are the complete package, right? The sort who has everything going for them. Those are the sorts of guys who they often pick to go to the military academies around here. So it's kind of a big deal. But he's not liking it. And I'm trying to sort of reconcile that in my head. I'm sure it was his dream, because you don't get in there without trying hard, right? Nobody coasts their way into a military academy. It's hard to do. So somewhere along the way, like, he actually started it and discovered that it's pretty difficult to do. It's difficult to thrive there. Now, perhaps he was head and shoulders above his peers back in high school, and now that he's there, he's finding himself just as one of the regular people, or less. Who knows? But I almost feel like he's asking for permission to quit. And some of the reasons he gave for not wanting to stick it out, to me, seem pretty thin. Like, I'm a Christian and the military turns people into alcoholics. I don't think that's true. I've never heard that before, and it hasn't been my observation. I know a couple people that graduated from military academies. One also went to the Naval Postgraduate School, and they're some of the most impressive people I know. I worry that this makes me biased, but I think what we really are seeing here is just, you're in a tough spot. You're homesick. It's your first year away from home. And to some extent, military academy or not, these are normal reactions that everybody gets when they go off to school. It stinks. It's hard. You lose your support system in a lot of ways, and you're left to sort of handle everything on your own, whether it be, financial or emotional, or, you're doing your own laundry. You're just, your whole support system is yanked out from underneath you. And in your case, that includes a girlfriend who you appear to be pretty serious about. It's hard, but a lot of the things that we're talking about exist in regular colleges too, and I'm not sure that you'll find the happiness that you think you would have. Most people leave their high school friends behind, or at least the bulk of them, when they go off to college. And the idea that, like, you're going to go to school with all your friends isn't true. You're going to find that most of your friends are gone, and that the friend groups have been shuffled since they went off to school. Maybe not yet, because it's only October as I do this thing. But trust me, by the end of your freshman year, people that were friends in high school will have expanded their friend circle and started meeting new people in their colleges. And you can't have high school back. Sorry about the phone. You can't have high school back. And I think that you need to stick it out. Certainly stick it out a lot longer than October, and see if you can find some success at the military academy. Like I said, it almost seemed like you're coming to me for permission to quit. Not granted, soldier. It's you will find that a lot of the complications you're running into, being alone, losing your support system, etc., exist in every school. And you need to stick it out and make sure that you're really doing this thing right. It's hard. Everyone goes through what you're going through when they first, in their freshman year in college, and it gets better. And also, man, I do worry that you would have a lifetime. There were at least, 20 to 25 years of regret if you finish school $100,000 in debt, trying to figure out how you're going to manage that, how you're going to buy a house, how you're going to have a wife and a family when you're also paying off your student loans, when the alternative is that the military academy actually pays you during this process. You've got a really sweet deal that you work super hard to get. Don't give it up. Stick with it. So apparently I'm too nice to people. Hey Woody, just wanted to say I've been subbed since Modern Warfare 2 days, and I know it's not as long as others, but I appreciate all the videos you put out. Almost a year ago, I wrote you a letter asking about being forever alone because I'm visually impaired. I remember that. This isn't really a follow-up or anything. Life is good. My depression is gone. Hey, I might not have gotten my first girlfriend yet, but I'm all right with that. Anyways, to the topic of the message. So when I talk to some people from my school on Facebook or something like that, the subject of a girl could come up, and they always end up asking, who do you want to be with? And if there's someone, I would just straight out tell them, and that would be the end of it. But when it gets to talking to girls, I'm way too nice to them, according to my friends. Most of my friends who do have girlfriends, I don't know how they got them, because honestly, some of them can be dicks. And then when they hear me talking to a girl about their problems or just helping them and stuff, making them feel good, I always get told that I shouldn't be as nice. If I end up liking a girl, I might just move in at some point. I might just move in at some point and see if she likes me. But before I do, she'll more than likely say, why can't most guys be like you? So it's an instant friend zone, really. I don't just drop the girl after that because I end up getting close to them. And at that point, I really just enjoy hanging out with them and talking to them at parties or whatever and just small stuff. So I don't mind being in the friend zone, although at some point it'd be nice if I wasn't friend zoned because me and the girl become great friends. Anyways, how can a guy be too nice to a girl? And that's what I want to know. My friends make it out as if it's a crime to be really nice and to make a girl feel good about herself. Am I actually doing something wrong here? Your friends are right, but not in the way that you sort of implied in your letter. You're saying your friends are dicks and they get girls and you're nice and you don't. Part of it could just be how hot, you are versus they are. I don't know. There's no pics that come with these letters. It's easier to get girls when you're good looking. Whatever. Having said that, if you are playing within your league, then you should be scoring. And I think what's going on here when your friends talk about you being too nice, it's not the niceness that's bad. It's placing yourself in this subordinate position. Relationships should be equal, right? The girl should be happy that she's with you, and you should be happy that you're with the guy, and there should be value on both sides, and it's a give and take, and it's a really cool thing. When you place yourself under that other person, it's a really awkward relationship, and I can see why they don't take it any further. This is something that happens to me all the time. You may not know, but I'm kind of a big deal on the internet. Millions of fans, hundreds of millions of people have seen my stuff, etc. Jokes, but when I meet people online, sometimes they're like super fans, and what they do is they place themselves under me, like, oh my god, you're Woody, I love your stuff, it's so fantastic, etc. And a more casual approach, like, hey, I like your videos, I got a lot of value out of that, you know what, I'm glad I've seen your stuff, oh, I know you from online, you make good stuff. Something like that would be way better than the oh my god, I'm a huge fan type reaction that I often get, because it's a little more peer-based, and I can work with that. When someone treats me like royalty, it's awkward. And I think you do that to girls sometimes. Let's circle this back to you. I think that you can tell these girls, you know what, you're the greatest thing, or can I do your homework for you? Can I carry your books for you? Can I do this? Can I do that? Listen to all their problems. And if you make yourself too easy, then you make yourself less than them. And that's not the way to do this. What you need to be doing is making yourself their peer. And, if they're full of crap, then they should know that from you. And if they're awesome, then, they can know that too. So that's my advice to you. I don't think it's necessarily that being nice is bad. It's that being overly nice makes you not really a candidate for their affection, because they're better than you, and that's not where they want to be, or you're less than them because you're just too darn nice. Hey Woody, glad you brought back Mail Monday. Now this might be a stupid question, but nonetheless I thought I'd ask you. This girl and I live in different towns and rarely see each other, but we text and talk all day. Every day basically. Since we're not really seeing each other, I always tell her to go after a guy she likes, but I don't really want her to because it hurts a little in a way. I want to be with her, but I'd be like a fork in the road to date her and stop her from me seeing other people. So he's at a decision point here. Should I just stop talking to her or let go of her, or should I see if I could actually date her, seeing maybe she is the one? Dude, you should date her, but you should freaking rewire your mind to all kinds of things. You clearly want a thing, and you're deciding whether or not you should go make it happen. And for that, you need professional help. I worry about you in that there are other aspects of your life potentially where you see something you want, but you don't drive towards making that thing happen. Do you want to be rich? Fine. You're going to have to give up a lot of leisure time. You're going to have to work your ass off. Do you want to be smart? Not a problem, but you're going to have to go to school. You're going to have to put in the effort. You're going to have to put in the time. Would you like to be a varsity athlete? A lot of people can be varsity athletes. Find the sport that fits your body type. Focus on making yourself good at that sport and go get it. Make that thing yours. Here's a girl that you talk to all the time that very well may like you, and you're not driving towards making that happen. Now, with relationships, some of this stuff is tricky. You can't just force things to happen. You can't. Like the guy in the previous thing, you can't just be so nice to her that she falls in love with you. But you can give it a shot. And you're sitting here debating whether or not you should try, and that's the problem that I have here. Gosh almighty, I want you to succeed, and you can only do that if you find out what success is to you and then drive towards getting that. Let that sink in. Figure out what it is that makes you feel successful, whether it be this girl, grades, money, relationships, who the hell knows, varsity sports in school, and then go make that happen for yourself. So what do you do with this girl? Make a move. Your relationship is in a terrible spot. Right now you are pining over a girl that you would like to have a relationship with, but don't. This is the worst possible spot. You would be better off if she said, I don't like you in that way, because at least you could start opening your eyes to somebody who does. And then of course you'd be better off if she said, oh, thank God you asked me. I thought you never would. And that would be but you need movement. This relationship needs movement in any direction. And that needs to happen by you moving it. So, as with all things in life, move it, dude. Move it. It's time. You got to move it. You got to make it happen. And, even if it turns out to be a no, even if it turns out to be, in the negative, then you'll be better off. And you'll know what the scoop is. So, don't just tell her to date other guys when it hurts you. That's stupid. Instead, go figure out what you want and make that thing happen. So, since I brought back Mail Monday, I've been doing this thing where I just talk to you guys. I guess it's kind of like a regular commentary. But in this one, like I said in the beginning, I was going to explain what happened to Mail Monday the last 2 weeks. So last week, I just got really busy. I was swamped. I was working, and I didn't get Mail Monday out. The week before, though, is different. So we were going to buy a house. And oh gosh, I know some of you are done with the house talk. But it meant so much to me. It was almost like a girl I liked, right? When I lost her because she had termites and, her roof was fucked and, a bunch of other reasons, but, a bunch of other reasons having to do with the house being in a state of disrepair, the water damage here and insulation falling out. And once I got the inspector in there, it became clear this wasn't a good idea to buy this house. So, I was bummed, but I wasn't bummed because I didn't get some material thing. I was bummed because of what I thought the house would bring me. I'd like an outdoor component inserted into my life. I think, if you guys listen to Wings of Redemption at all, you've heard him say many times, about how being inside in his room all the time makes him depressed. And I had a similar sort of thing, although, you know, like I think I'm in better shape, but I think I'd be even happier if I spent more time outside. That outdoor component is a thing that I would like to change about my current lifestyle. And this house was on a lake, and it had some land, and it had things, and when it was gone, it's like, man, there's no other house like this one. It wasn't a cookie cutter house in the middle of a neighborhood where I could get the equivalent over and over again. It was unique, and it kind of feels like losing a girl. And you can be told there's many more fish in the sea, but the answer is, oh no, but there'll never be another fish like this one. You know, there'll never be a fish exactly like the one I saw before. And now we're bidding on a new home, and I think it's at least as nice. In some ways, it's a lot better. It's a better fit for my working from home. It's a better fit for, it has more land. It, you know, it doesn't have a pool, but that can be fixed. You know, save up some money and put a pool in. Yeah, it's not the same house as the one that got away, but it's also a great house, and I think I'll be at least as happy. And in some ways, it's a lot better. So I don't know. I feel like I've gone through a breakup. You know, that's what it feels like. It's like, oh, this thing, I was so emotionally invested in it working out, and now it's gone. And 2 weeks ago on Monday, it was kind of like, man, you know, I need someone to call in for Mail Monday. I need someone to tell me that there's more fish in the sea, that it's not the only thing that will make me happy. And I just felt like the parallel with the whole girl thing is something that you guys might benefit from hearing. That, yeah, I get it. There's no other fish like this one. But that's true. But there are other fish just as good as that one. You can't see it right now, but you will when you get back out in the ocean. So anyway, wish me luck on the next house we're bidding on. We don't have a signed contract yet, so hopefully we can agree on a price. And it's good enough. It passes inspection.